Welcome back, students. Today, we are going to discuss another of our most important sensory organs, our ears. Let's examine the structures of the ear and discuss how these structures work together to help you hear. First, sound waves are created by objects that are moving through the air and disturbing the air around them. The disturbance of the air creates a wave, like this. Okay, and these sound waves get directed to you through the structure here called your outer ear. Okay, so your outer ear is the part that we see on the outside. Okay, that's your outer ear, and that structure is there to collect the sound waves and pass them to your ear canal. Your ear canal is what's shown in the diagram here. It's a tunnel or passageway that leads inside to the inside of your head, essentially. So these sound waves will be collected by your outer ear and directed down the ear canal until it gets to the end of the ear canal. The end of the ear canal is covered by a piece of tissue called the eardrum. The eardrum, I'll color it in blue here, is a thin membrane, and it's a flexible membrane. So when the sound waves hit the eardrum, these sound waves here, when they hit the eardrum, it will cause the eardrum to move back and forth, and that movement or vibration can then be transferred further into the ear by three tiny bones called the hammer, the anvil, and the stirrup. Here they are, the hammer, the anvil, and the stirrup. They're the three tiniest bones in your body. And so I'll color them in yellow here. Here's the hammer, the anvil, and the stirrup. So as the eardrum vibrates back and forth because of the sound waves hitting, it's vibrating back and forth, that motion is going to be transferred to the three ear bones. And so if they're attached to the eardrum, they are going to move as well. The hammer, the anvil, and the stirrup are then attached to another structure in the very innermost part of your ear. That structure is called the cochlea. And it's this structure that looks like a snail. So it's kind of curving around, just like the snail, the shell on a snail. Okay, so when the hammer and the anvil and the stirrup move, they are going to move the cochlea back and forth. Now, you can't see it from the picture, but inside the cochlea are the sensory receptors for sound. And those sensory receptors are called hair cells. We see an example of the hair cells right here. In this blown up diagram, this whole thing here is a hair cell. So these are found, thousands of these are found inside the cochlea. And the other thing, along with the hair cells inside the cochlea, is fluid. So that's what this blue is supposed to be here. These hair cells are bathed in fluid. So when the eardrum vibrates, it will move the three inner ear bones, and those in turn will move the cochlea. It will shake the cochlea back and forth. So if the cochlea is moving back and forth, what will happen is that the fluid inside will move back and forth. It will shake around like this. It will move back and forth. You'll notice that these hair cells have a set of processes sticking up into the area where the fluid is. And so if the fluid is shaking back and forth, that means the hair cells that are bathed in that fluid are also going to move back and forth. So these right here, back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. At the rate at which the eardrum is vibrating, which will be the same as the rate as the sound waves are coming in and hitting that eardrum. So as these hair cells move back and forth, the tops of the hair cells bend, and that is going to trigger an electric impulse in the specific nerve dedicated to hearing, which is called the auditory nerve. Okay, so here, these nerves, color them in blue, these are attached to the hair cells, and as the cells move back and forth, the processes on the cell move back and forth, it'll trigger an electric signal in these auditory nerves, and that electric signal will then go through the auditory nerves to the brain. Now, just like with the vision, the brain is also the area where sounds are formed. Your brain will need to collect impulses, electric impulses from both ears. And with those impulses, your brain can coordinate and interpret the disturbances of the air outside. And from that, the sound is formed in your mind. Okay, that's it for tonight. Please make sure to do your Quizmodo. I'm also going to post the brain pop that goes along with hearing with this video, so that if you need a visual about how these parts move compared to each other, you can go ahead and watch that. I know there are a lot of interconnecting parts, and it can be hard to visualize on a static diagram. So if you need some animation, check out the brain pop video. And otherwise, I will see you tomorrow. Have a good night.